Hello, I'm back, and so are all of my plants. Here we have them, or at least some of them. I've got them all over the house now, so I thought I'd go from place to place and show the different plants. These are the tomatoes, big fuzzy tomato plants. And they've gotten pretty big. I've seen other people, neighbours, who have bigger tomatoes, but I'm doing my best with them. Hopefully they'll grow a bit bigger now that they're outside and getting used to the outdoor weather. I've read that you have to take them outside for a couple of days first before you put them outside forever. So just now they're out for the day, but then maybe in a week I'll put them out and they'll stay out permanently. And here I've also got some just summer flowers, just like a mix of summer flowers, and they're starting to poke through already, which is really fun. Here was just a little bit of mint, which isn't growing particularly well, but I've got more mint inside, so it's not a disaster if this doesn't grow. I'll go inside now and see what I've got in there. Go this way. I have got some rocket salad, which is growing really nicely. And look at these sunflowers. I cannot believe how fast sunflowers grow. Like, I know that kids grow them because they're meant to be easy, but I'm blown away. Like, when you spend weeks and weeks and weeks and months trying to grow a single chili plant, you plant these and every single one grows and they grow really fast. It's so satisfying. Like, look at the size of the seeds as well. They're huge, and I shouldn't be surprised by this because I've obviously eaten sunflower seeds before, but I just love them. So you can see the difference in the colour already. These ones are like purple in the stalk, whereas these ones are very green. So the ones at the back are the ones that are going to turn into these sort of more purpley sunflowers. And here we have, as I just talked about, the one chili plant that grew, and it's still growing, but really, really slowly. So I don't know if I'm going to have to put it in somewhere with intense sunlight. I don't really have a place that has constant intense sunlight, so I'm not sure how I'll do with that. I think maybe chilies were a bit ambitious, and next year I'll have to get like a grow lamp if I want to do better with those. But we have other things that are growing very nicely. We have oregano, for example. Lots and lots of oregano, and it will soon be able to go outside in my planting boxes, which I'll show in the next bit, or maybe the bit after. But it's going to be able to live outside really well, the oregano. And here I've got, these are the spring onions that I've had for maybe a month now, and they're growing pretty well, but it feels like they've slowed down a little bit. So I've also got more spring onion that I've planted outside, which will hopefully do pretty well in case these ones don't keep growing. I'll go inside now. And out here I have my leeks. These are the ones I grew inside, and they're finally outside. Hopefully they will survive the slightly colder weather. And I've also planted some green beans here, and their seeds are insanely big. They're like entire beans. Over here I have got more spring onions planted, and then in this section here I have got more leeks, because I've read that you can also just plant them straight outside. And then I've got two more planting boxes, and in those I'm going to have herbs and possibly tomatoes. Also, I think I might just keep tomatoes in big pots. So in here I have got my basils. These are some basils that I bought from the shop. And when I bought them, they were in this really tight little pot, way too many of them. So I managed to rescue some. Yay, Mufasa, hey! And these are even more, which I managed to save. The roots on these ones I didn't manage to save, so I've had to put them in water. And you can maybe see at the bottom that roots are starting to grow out of these. There, that's quite clear. These little these little white bits that are starting to come off, they're going to turn into roots. And once they get bigger, I can put it into soil, and then I'll get more basil. And that is what I did with this one. And this is probably one of the best basils I've ever had, this one. I've never had them grow sideways like this so much. I've always read that if you clip the sides, they'll become bushy. So you can see here that this is a whole extra sort of basil that's grown off, and if I wanted to, I could clip this and grow it into even more basil. I always have way too much basil, more than I can eat. I just love basil, it's so satisfying because it grows so well. And then in here, of course, even more basil. So here I'm guilty of the thing that I just accused the shop of. I'm growing it way too tight. But I'll just separate it out not too long before I should do that, to be honest, because it's getting really big and it's growing very fast already. And then finally, this was even more oregano. This oregano is not growing so well as the other one, so I think maybe it's time for it to come out and live in the real world, not in a little greenhouse. So I think that's what I will do. I'm not sure which order these clips ended up in because I was all over the place, but this will be the last one. Until next time, of course. Hopefully by then I'll have gotten more soil in the garden planters, and I'll have been able to move everything outside. It's getting pretty hot now. If I look at the thermometer, almost 15 degrees today. And that's good weather for Sweden. It's usually really, really horrible and cold here. So hopefully we'll get some really good weather. The plants will be able to go outside and they'll feel safe. They won't get frozen to death. Like, the weather here is unbelievable. It's been -degrees and we're into May now. So all the way into April, the end of April, we had -degrees. But now we're gonna have some warmer weather, I hope. I can move everything outside and it'll become like a tropical paradise here with all these different plants and things. So I'm gonna end the video there, and I look forward to the next one. Goodbye.